Today we invite you to delve into the gripping story of men who rose from the depths of poverty and hardship to wield unimaginable influence over the city's criminal landscape. In each step of their journey, they left a trail of chaos, and the consequences of their actions reached tragic proportions. In the shadowy underworld of the United States, one group strikes fear into the hearts of those who dare to cross its path. Hells Angels. Maurice Mom Boucher. As the rebellious fire of adolescence ignited within him, Boucher found camaraderie and seduction in the veiled world of biker collectives with a hometown faction known as the SS. The allure of a maverick existence drew him into its thralls, and young Boucher quickly climbed the hierarchy. His trademark? A brutal efficacy in exercising extreme violence to streamline debts and eliminate competition. By the time he entered his prime, Boucher morphed into a feared instrument of chaos for the SS, orchestrating bombings, administering torture, and attributing countless unsolved murders to his name. These deeds were stepping stones on his slide into corrupted euphoria. The year 1987 marked a watershed moment, as Boucher galvanized the SS into a gladiatorial pact with the infamous Hells Angels, swiftly overcoming smaller factions. His appetence for savagery propelled him to the commanding heights of the Angels' Montreal division in the impending decade. With the world at his motorcycle treads, the merciless Boucher instigated a whirlwind expansion of the gang's underworld portfolio, casting his dragnet over the narcotics trade and other felonious operations. This malevolent reign witnessed the extermination of roughly 40 opponents, defectors, informants, or their kin. The crown jewel that solidified Boucher's chilling notoriety, a cold-blooded car bombing aimed at a mob adversary, a disaster devoid of mercy, claiming an innocent 11-year-old a heartbreaking casualty, a human life Boucher mercilessly discarded in his relentless pursuit of supremacy. Yet, justice would not overlook the rampant malevolence of Maurice. As his notorious exploits brought terror to Montreal, they also etched his own end. The escalating crescendo of his criminal acts ultimately arrested the law's attention, and in 2002, Boucher was nabbed by authorities. Indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder and attempted murder, his fate was sealed in a courtroom, far from his reign of terror on the streets. Convicted to life imprisonment with no chance of parole for 25 years, Boucher exchanged his motorcycle for jail bars, his infamy confined within the Saint-Anne-des-Plaines detention center. Known as the Undertaker for reserving burial plots for his victims, Walter Stadnik clawed his way to the top ranks of the Hells Angels through ruthless cunning. Born in Hamilton, Ontario in 1952, Stadnik was drawn to the outlaw biker lifestyle. He earned the nickname Nurget in his youth due to his small stature. He was under 5 feet tall. But his ruthless ambition more than compensated for his size. In 1984, he was nearly killed when a rival biker gang detonated a car bomb, but survived with extensive injuries. Stadnik escaped death by hiding under a table during the 1985 Lennoxville massacre, when the Laval chapter was slaughtered. Stadnik was a master strategist who outmaneuvered rivals through alliances, surprise attacks, and exploiting weaknesses. He thought 5 steps ahead. By the 1990s, Stadnik maneuvered himself into the role of national president of the Canadian Hells Angels. He spearheaded their aggressive expansion into Ontario amidst a bloody biker turf war. Stadnik's penchant for torture and fear tactics made him a feared underworld figure. He ordered bombings, kidnappings, and murders to intimidate rivals into submission. A cunning strategist, Stadnik exploited legal technicalities to evade criminal charges for years. But in 2001, he was finally convicted of gangsterism and assault. Despite attempts on his life and numerous police operations, the Undertaker managed to survive in the merciless world of outlaw bikers to the end. Stadnik was a very private person. He managed to avoid having a criminal record for many years by avoiding incriminating situations. He enjoyed displaying the power and status of the Hells Angels by flaunting a lavish lifestyle, exotic vacations, expensive cars and clothes, VIP treatment at bars and clubs. In 2000, police launched an elaborate undercover operation to convict Stadnik. It involved an agent infiltrating his inner circle for over 2 years, gathering evidence. Even after being injured, arrested, and targeted by rivals and police, the ruthless Nurgut refused to step back from his life of crime until the very end. Ralph "Sonny" Barger was a founding member of the Oakland Hells Angels chapter in 1957, rising quickly through the ranks due to his charismatic leadership style. Barger came from an abusive home. He bonded with the Hells Angels brothers as surrogate family. Barger transformed the Hells Angels into a national organization in the 1960s and 70s, spearheading expansion by chartering new chapters and organizing major rallies. In the 1980s, Barger served prison time for conspiracy to sell explosives and drugs, exerting influence as an elder statesman figure behind bars. Out of prison, Barger was the Hells Angels' official spokesperson, surviving an assassination attempt in 1990 when the Oakland clubhouse was bombed. Barger was obsessed with Harley-Davidson motorcycles, seeing them as extensions of himself. His bike's nickname was Lil Jesus Me. He used his prison time to write his memoirs, cementing his Hells Angels legend status. In the early 2000s, Barger beat liver cancer, crediting his outlaw lifestyle for his strength. Barger insists on appearing at Hells Angels events to retain his elder statesman status and command respect from younger members. His devotion to the outlaw values he helped define remains unchanged. Barger achieved legendary status, inspiring outlaw bikers worldwide. Barger imposed a ruthless disciplinary system within the Hells Angels, fully embracing eye-for-an-eye justice and group punishment for betrayals. His authoritarian leadership style kept members loyal through fear. He expected recruits to prove their toughness and commitment to the club through acts of violence, intimidation, and criminal skills. Barger cultivated a selective recruitment process to preserve elite status. Sonny Barger played a key role in popularizing the Hells Angels' mythical one-percenter image in media. He fed stories to reporters and wrote prolifically to boost the club's notoriety. Despite numerous arrests and imprisonment over the decades, he stubbornly refused to leave his outlaw biker lifestyle behind. For Barger, the Hells Angels Brotherhood gave his life purpose. Now in his mid-70s and having achieved legendary status, Sonny Barger's devotion to the open road and renegade lifestyle remains undimmed despite age and health issues. His confrontational attitude and ruthless approach left an indelible mark on motorcycle clubs. Through sheer determination, Barger transformed a small Oakland club into an infamous global phenomenon by strictly enforcing loyalty, expanding reach, and commanding fear and respect.